Hey friends, happy Wednesday morning. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. It is perfect running weather out here, and I'm thankful I have the day off to recover. We got home late last night from celebrating Hope's birthday. We went to Georgia. We went to Hinesville, Georgia. It was an awesome weekend, but definitely needed a day to recover. But it was a long drive. But speaking of Georgia, I wanted to share something that was on my heart this morning. Something that I hope blesses you as much as it did me. In order to get to Hinesville, where Hope is at, you have to drive through Atlanta. And if you've ever driven through Atlanta, to me, it causes me great anxiety because the traffic in Atlanta is just horrible, especially if you make the mistake that Larry and I did the first time that we went there, and we didn't go at the right time. And we didn't go at peak rush hour, but definitely did not go at the times where people said it was the wisest to go. So this time we did our research, and we looked at reviews, and people said to go there, after 8 o'clock at night, and then between 10 and 3 if you had to travel in the daytime. So we took this advice, and not only did it get us through Atlanta relatively well, it also got us in and out of Memphis, where we weren't hitting it at rush hour either. So I was very, very thankful for the advice of these people who had gone before and had taken the time to write their advice down so we could glean wisdom from their advice. But this is where I'm going with this. In my Bible study this morning, I was in Psalm 77. Highly, highly encourage you to read it. It's an absolute gem. It's a Psalm of Asaph, and he has gone through a trying time. And like every believer, if you have been walking with Jesus, it's not a matter of if you will go through trials or times when you feel like you just don't have the faith to get through. It's just a matter of when. I mean, this is just the Christian life, and because the enemy is always on the prowl, looking to attack, and this is just the life of a believer. But here we have Asaph, and he's giving us wisdom. He's here is a man who has gone through the fire and has come out the other side. Here is a man who has gone through a great trial, where he's crying out to the Lord, and he's saying, Lord, help me. And he's going through this great trial, and he's even saying that, at night I reach out my hands and I cry to you. Because isn't it just like the enemy when we're trying to get that peaceful sleep, that rest, so we can wake up refreshed and on fire, that the enemy likes to come at night? And the psalmist was saying that he even felt like God was keeping his eyelids open, and he was in such a period of distress. And this is what he was laying his heart out, and he was saying, Lord, have you rejected me forever? Have you taken your kindness away from me? All these questions that will plague a believer if we're honest. But then I love it. He comes back to his senses in verse 10, and he says, to this I will appeal. The years that the Most High stretched out his right hand. And then he goes on and he says, I will remember your deeds. I will meditate on your good works. I will meditate. And then he goes on, he says, I will talk about it. This is what I love about this, because it's one thing to have private praise. I mean, there is power in private praise. But when we take what we're feeling and we turn it into public praise, and we tell people, listen, this is what God has done. I was just a few minutes ago, I was like David, and I was stuck in the mire, and then the Lord reached down and he picked me up and he put my feet on a solid rock, and this is what he was saying. I will appeal. He said, my mind is thinking these things, but this appeal is like, I am going to the Most High to overturn my feelings. It's like being in a court of law. When you appeal a decision, you go to a higher court to have that decision overturned. And this is what the psalmist, when he came to his senses, was saying, why am I stuck in this pattern of self-defeat? I'm going to appeal to the Most High, and I'm going to ask him to remind me all that he has done. This is what the psalmist, he goes down and he talks about how God, how he's sovereign over the wind and the waves and the lightning, and he just remembers everything. And I love how the psalmist ends up, and he says that you made a way through the sea, though your footprints were not seen. He reminded himself that God's ways are higher than his. God always makes a way, even when you don't see it, when you're going through the midst of it. God is always there. I was thinking about this. I was reading in the commentary, and Spurgeon had a great way of just expressing this thought. He said that memory is a great handmaiden for faith, because when you go through that 7 years of famine, that memory, like Joseph in Egypt, will open up faith's granaries. Do you just love that, or what? It's when we feel like we don't have the faith to go on that we ask the Lord, overturn what my mind is thinking, because I know that facts aren't feelings. Remind me what you've done in the past. Remind me that you are the Most High. This is what he's saying. He is over all. He was reminding himself that God is sovereign, and he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God who parted the Red Seas is the same God that's going to get us through our troubles. The same God who was with David to slay Goliath is the same God that's going to be with us to slay our giants, no matter how it looks. So guys, I really, really hope that blesses you, and I hope it inspires you. If that's you today and you're saying, Melissa, golly, I'm in that pit, I urge you to appeal to the Most High and remember the years that his right hand of what his right hand has done in your life and in the Old Testament. Just go through it. I tell you what, that is the glory of reading the Bible, because it will just inspire you like nothing else can, because the Bible is the truth. And facts, feelings aren't facts, but the truths in the Bible are facts. They are tried and true. So guys, I really, really hope that blesses you. I'm going to finish up my run and get off to spend the day with my sweet Larry. It's going to be a great day.